Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with SunView and see the difference.
Well, there are calls, for new speed signs outside schools to be changed. There are concerns that some are overcomplicated and even incorrect. The signs are being rolled out as part of a wider suite of changes from the government that they're reversing speed limit reductions that were introduced after 2019 on local streets, arterial roads and state highways. The changes also affect the roads outside schools, meaning lower speed limits of 30k during pickup and drop-off times. So, of course, they need new signage and infrastructure. However, some are not impressed. Especially around Auckland, a spokesperson for Save Our Safe Streets says you can't even read them if you're driving. And some have got the times wrong. Shane Henderson, an Auckland councillor in the Waitakere ward, said a sign recently put up outside Tirimoana School advised drivers to slow down to an unspecified speed, so no speed even put up there, between the hours of 2:25 and 2:45 in the afternoon, despite the school finishing at 3. And the AA's road safety spokesperson, Dylan Thomsen, says seen a sign outside Avondale College that had 6 lines of text spelling out the rules. And he said, who knew that we were going to have these speed signs and an eye test all combined into one? And he joins me now. Dylan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah.
Not a smooth transition then for some of the school signage. Can you tell us about the school sign that you spoke of, combining the speed and the eye test at the same time?
Yeah. Well, obviously, just a little bit of a light-hearted comment on it there, but
but it's serious.
You've got the 30 number,
yep,
and then you had. I think it was Monday and Tuesday and certain times listed, and Wednesday some different times, and then Thursday and Friday some slightly different times. And so, when I saw the image of that came through to us from a story on that TV News was doing about it, I was really surprised at what I saw, because you think there's no way that somebody driving along in their car and you probably have sort of less than a second that you really can look and take in information from a sign. So there's no way that somebody can decipher all of that text.
No, you can't process 6 lines of text on a speed sign while driving, even if you were doing 30 Ks. I mean, even if you dropped down I can't believe, because I live opposite a high school, Dylan, and they change their literally every day. It's a different time when the kids get out. I don't know why, Teachers' Day afternoon or whatever they do, but the other day they were all leaving at 2:00. And then sometimes they're there till 4. So I can see how difficult this is, because schools seem to keep their own times nowadays. So what should they be doing?
In a perfect world, we would like to see, all schools in Utopia having the electronic speed signs. So those are the ones that they actually only turn on when the lower limit is in place, and so the rest of the time, it's just a blank electronic screen. But then at certain times of the day, that comes on, and you would have the 30 sign showing up, and they have some flashing lights with them. That's the best option in terms of it only activates at the times that you are having a lot of people outside the school, and that can be changed and controlled, for different days and different times and events. and those kind of things. And, it really does a much better job of grabbing a driver's attention. So when they're driving along, you tend to notice those electronic signs much more, and you see, okay, it's a lower speed limit at this particular time. That's not going to be possible absolutely everywhere, certainly not in the short term, but as we sort of go forward, we would like to see more and more of those school zones have electronic signage, because we think that'll work best. With the static signs that are going to have to exist in the meantime in some places, we just think that you could do a much better job than what we saw with that example up in Auckland. So, at the very least, you think the key things that you want people to take away at a glance is the speed, the number for the speed limit, and the fact that it is a school zone. Yeah. And so, without needing to sit there and read all the specific days and times and things like that, at least at a glance, if you're driving along, you see that lower number for a speed limit and a school zone, you then get a message to look around, use some common sense. If, it's a time of the day where there's a lot of people and kids around, you get that message, hopefully, as a driver, that, I'm entering a school zone, I'm coming up towards a school area, and there's lots of people around, there's a lower speed limit in place. And we think the signs could just do a much better job of letting people know this is a lower limit because a school is nearby, and then at least people can exercise some judgment and slow down when they need to, even if they, haven't specifically seen it's 2:45 or 2:50 or whatever the time is.
Wasn't that kind of the argument with when Simeon Brown was Transport Minister? He said that he wanted it to be only in the school times, because at 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're going past a school, you shouldn't have to do 30 Ks. So wasn't this the whole brouhaha? See, I'm with you, Dylan. Just put up 30 Ks school zone, and then just be done with it. And at 3 in the morning, if I drove down my road at 50, which is 50, but it was 3 in the morning, I shouldn't get a cop shouldn't be able to pull me over and say this is 30. I'm saying, yeah, it's 3 in the morning. School's not even in. Is that the confusion with the law? I don't know.
That is really one of the big, I guess, challenges around this, and that is that you having a 24/7 lower limit.
Yes. Yeah.
What you tend to have happen actually is it's not actually a 24/7 lower limit in reality, because if people are driving along and they go, I can't see any reason for this lower limit, this doesn't make any sense to me, this feels way too slow, then what you tend to have happen is people just choose their own speed and drive at that. So, we at the AA, we think that the variable speed limit approach is the best approach to take. We think that having lower limits at those times when lots of people, families, kids are around makes really good sense, and we should be doing that. Then at times when they're not and the roads are relatively empty and quiet, that having a speed limit that's just going to feel way too slow and low for a lot of people, that's not going to work very well. So we like the concept, but then it's a case of, can we do that in a way so that people actually get good information, can understand it easily, and know, school time, school zone, lower speeds, and I don't think these signs are hitting that mark.
No, and Dylan, it's not rocket science. It just sounds funny that people, you've got to say, all right, I'm in a school zone, kids are walking around and I'm crossing roads, we should be doing slower speeds. I mean, it's just common sense, and it's funny that we have to make these signs that aren't hitting the spot because they're 6 lines long and nobody really can read them as they go past them. Are there any international examples of effective school zone signage that we look to or emulate? Let me guess, you're probably going to say it's the plug-in ones, isn't it?
Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with SunView and see the difference.